Welcome to Using Ratio to Solve Problems video. The learning goals for this video are to find a missing value using cross multiplication and to use ratio to solve problems. For the first goal, here's our first example. Y is to 3 equals 12 is to 4. Let's find the value of y. To do this, we're going to use the first word in the phrase cross multiplication. We're going to draw a cross. So we start from 4 going to y, and then another one going from 3 to 12. Now simplifying this or rewriting this using the second word in our phrase cross multiplication, we're going to multiply 4 to y. 4 to y, 4y equals, just write the symbol equal, the equal symbol here, then 3 times 12. Simplifying this equation, 4y equals 3 times 12. 4y, 3 times 12 is 36 with the equal symbol here. Now, using what you know into solving two-step problem in algebra, when you have 4y, it means multiplication, and so we will use the opposite operation of multiplication to solve the problem, and that will be division. We'll use the coefficient of the variable to divide both sides of the equation to balance it out to solve it. So divide 4 on both sides. You will end up with y is equal to 36 divided by 4. 36 divided by 4 is 9, so y is equal to 9. Second example, a over 9 is equal to 2/3. Draw the cross first, from 3 to a, then from 9 to 2, then rewrite the equation using multiplication, so you will have 3a is equal to 9 times 2. Simplifying this equation, you will have 3a is equal to 18. 3a means that it's multiplication, so use the opposite operation of multiplication, which is division, and use the number beside the coefficient to divide it. So 3a divided by 3 equals 18 divided by 3. So to simplify that, you will have a is equal to 18 divided by 3. So 18 divided by 3, a is equal to 6. Okay. Make sure you are writing down notes so there's something that you can look at when you are solving the problems that I'm about to give you. Okay. To check your understanding, stop this video and open your textbook on page 71. Solve problems A to D of number 1. You can look at your notebook and see what the procedure is and follow that procedure to solve the problem. Now remember to go back to this video because this is just the first part of this video. Okay, once you have solved problems A to D, continue watching this video. Now welcome to the second part of this video, and this is solving problem using cross multiplication or solving problems using ratio. First problem is a woman mixes sand and cement in the ratio 5:2 by volume. If she uses 5 buckets of cement, how much cement should she use? Okay. So the first method that I'm going to use is using equivalent ratio to solve the problem. I'm going to write the word first. Sand is to cement, and this will serve as a guide. Sand is to cement, and I'm going to use this format, 5:2. I'm going to write it down. Okay, so this means for 5 buckets of sand, you need 2 buckets of cement. Okay, now what we would like to do to be able to find out how much we need for 5 buckets of cement, That means that we would like to know how much sand we need for 1 bucket of cement. To turn this 2 into 1, we need to reduce our ratio to its lowest term and make it into 1. Okay, so we're going to use the concept of equivalent ratio. Okay, if we are reducing it or making the number less, okay, are we using division or multiplication operation? If we want to make the number low or small, we are going to use the operation division. Okay, our aim is to turn this 2 into 1. So if we want this to 1, this will be the equivalent for sand, but let me show you how I got these numbers. Okay, to get 2 into 1, I said we need to use division. And so to get 1, that means we need to divide 2 by the number itself to get to 1. Now, so that's how we found 1 over here. Now, if we divide this by 2, that means that whatever we do to this number, we also need to do that to the other number. So if we divided this by 2, we need to divide 5 by 2 as well. So let's do that. 5 divided by 2, that gives you 2.5, and that's how we got the number 2.5 there. Now, remember, in this problem, what we are really solving for is to find out that how many buckets of sand do we need for 5 buckets of cement. So on the next line here, we want the 1 to change into 5. So we're making 1 a bigger number. What operation will make 1 into a bigger number? Is it multiplication or division? We know that when we multiply numbers multiply number, the number becomes bigger. If we divide, the number becomes smaller. So we are now multiplying number. So we want 1 to turn into 5, and here we go. We make it into 5, but let me show you how did it become 5. So I want 1 to become 5, so I multiplied it by 5. So that's how I got 5 here. Now, if I multiply 1 by 5, I should be multiplying 2.5 by 5 as well. So I have here 2 and 5 tenths times 5 is equal to 12.5. Therefore, 5 buckets of cement needs 12.5 buckets of sand, or for 5 buckets of cement, we need 12.5 buckets of sand. The second method is to use the cross multiplication method. Okay. So if I'm writing sand, okay, and we want cement, so I've written this into another format. Okay, instead of using the colon format, I use the fraction format. So sand is to cement. So sand is 5, so I wrote 5 over here. Cement is down here, so the 2 is over here. So in here we wrote the ratio horizontally. In here we wrote the ratio vertically. Okay, now we know how much sand we know how much cement we have, but we don't know how much sand it's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite. I'm just going to copy 5 over 2 over there, but in the problem we don't know how. That's what it's asking for. How much sand should she use for 5 buckets of cement? So this is the 5 buckets of cement, and that's the sand that we don't know. Using cross multiplication, you can now draw a cross to x, and then 5 is to 5. Okay, so you will end up with 5 over 2 times 5, and you should get 12.5 buckets. So either way, you're going to solve the problem. Okay. Second example. A recipe that serves 4 people uses 5 potatoes. How many potatoes are needed to serve 28 people? Okay. I'm showing you a different way of thinking. So number 1, I'm going to write, let X be the number of potatoes required to serve 28 people, because we don't know, and that's what we're looking for, how many potatoes. So we just represent potato by X. Number 2 step, since the recipe is the same, we have two equivalent ratio. I'm writing the ratio by number of people to the number of potatoes. We know that there are 4 people, and for 4 people we use 5 potatoes. Now, equal, remember 4 is the number of people, and then it became 28, so you're writing it across, 28 equal 5, here's your number of potatoes. For 28 people, we don't know how many potatoes we need. Okay, so because we wrote it this way, and you already studied how to cross multiply, use cross multiplication to solve this problem. Number 3, that's what we're going to do, cross multiply. There you go, that's your cross, and then we are multiplying. 4 times x is equal to 5 times 28. Simplify this equation, you will have 4x is equal to 140, and because this is multiplication, we use division to solve this problem, and remember, divide both sides by 4. Okay, so 4x divided by 4 is equal to 140 divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 is equal to 1. So you will just have x is equal to, what's 140 divided by 4? That will be 35. So we need 35 potatoes to serve 28 people. Okay. Now, check your understanding. This time, solve number 2 on page 71, letters A to C. Okay. Remember, you can always rewatch this video. By grade 7 and 8 for INECs.